There was this person who reached out to me completely frustrated. She had been looking for a job in Germany for over 6 months, but no luck. She was so shocked she couldn't understand why, because she had everything the job required, a relevant degree, and even prior work experience before moving to Germany. But still nothing, no interview. At first I thought HR must be missing on a great candidate. But when I saw her CV, I understood why. Her CV didn't tell the story she told me. It didn't highlight her skills, didn't emphasize her relevant experience. And the format made it so difficult for both recruiters and software to read. And honestly, I have seen this so many times. People with great potential, but they just don't know how to reflect it in their CVs. So I helped her rewrite her CV, structuring it in a way that focused on what employers actually look for and what she could bring to the table. And the results couldn't have been any better. Within the first 2 weeks, she got 3 interview invitations. And after 2 months and a half, she landed her first job in Germany. Considering how long hiring process in Germany can take, this is impressive. In this video, I break down the most common CV mistakes many people make and how to fix them. Hi, I'm Tuyet, a marketing manager living in Germany. I have been working in Germany for 5 years now, not super long, but long enough to figure out what actually works and what doesn't when it comes to CVs. I have been mentoring and helping people land jobs after months of struggling. If you're applying and getting no results, chances are your CV isn't capturing the attention of recruiters. In other words, you're not standing out. But by the end of this video, you know how to spot and fix the mistakes in your CV. Make sure to watch until the end, because I'll share insider insights what recruiters are actually looking for and why. So let's get started. Mistake number 1, too many design elements. I know it's tempting to make your CV stand out with fancy elements. You might think adding colorful boxes, icons, and skill bars will grab HR's attention. But if you're not a designer, and let's be real, most of us aren't, these elements can work against you. So trust me, in this case, simplicity is the best. If a recruiter reviews your CV, too much design can actually be distracting. They spend less than a minute scanning your CV, so if their first impression is, wow, this looks messy, they're not going to dig deeper. And to be honest, these icons, they don't provide any additional information, and they actually make your CV look unprofessional. So I would say leave them out. And these skill bars, they might seem like a cool way to showcase your expertise, but they do more harm than good. Think about it. If you rate all skills 100%, then why rate them at all? But if you rate some fewer, especially skills that are needed for the job, HR might think that you are unqualified, even when you actually are. Instead of skill bars, just list your relevant skills clearly. Some people often write things like excellent into A, proficient into B in their skills section. And my honest advice, you don't need that. HR is scanning so quickly and they are looking for keywords, not for your self-rating. So instead of spending so much time to come up with different ways to describe your proficiency, you can just simply list out as many relevant skills as possible, including soft skills if they are emphasized in the job description. I have seen some people using logos to demonstrate the tools they are working with, and honestly, this is not a good idea because HR managers are often technical experts. Imagine an HR manager is hiring for a senior software developer role and the applicant just includes a bunch of logos in their CV. Will the HR manager be able to recognize these logos? Probably not. They will not stop and spend time to Google what these logos are because they have a bunch of applications with potential candidates waiting for them. So again, just simply list out the tools. No need to get fancy here. If an ATS is used to scan your CV first, these fancy elements can scramble your CV into an unreadable mess. So if you are using any icons, logos, skill bars, or any creative design elements, ditch them. Keep your CV clean, clear, and easy to read. Mistake number 2, 2-column layout. This CV CV uses a 2-column layout, and honestly, I have seen so many Canva templates with this design. I get it, it's easy to grab a template and use it at its ease, but I strongly recommend sticking to a single column layout instead. If the company uses an ATS to scan your CV, a 2-column design can make things unnecessarily complicated. ATS systems can be unpredictable, and the last thing you want is for your education section to accidentally merge with your skills section because the software got confused. And even for humans, a single column layout is just easier to read. No need to decide which side to start with, so keep it simple and straightforward. Mistake number 3. Irrelevant sections. She also included her hobbies, travel, music, social media, sports. To be honest, they are so generic that don't really say anything about you or help you stand out. They are actually taking up valuable space, so I would advise deleting them. Of course, you can include hobbies if they are relevant or interesting enough to spark curiosity. For example, if you're applying for a content and design role and you love video editing or blogging, it's worth mentioning. Otherwise, it's better to use that space for something more impactful. So before adding any section to your CV, ask yourself, does this actually help me get the job? Here are a few things I realized are unnecessary when applying in Germany. Hobbies, like I said, unless they add value, skip them. References, completely unnecessary. If a German employer wants them, they'll ask. Full address, just the city, for example, Nuremberg, Germany is enough. Date and place of birth, outdated and irrelevant. Marital status and family info? Nope, no one needs to know that. In fact, including things like your date of birth or marital status could lead to discrimination. So why risk it? Just leave them out. Photo. This one is tricky. In IT or engineering, no photo is totally fine. But in marketing, a picture actually helps. You're expected to look confident, like someone who knows how to present themselves. If you're unsure whether to include a photo in your CV, test it. One version with a photo, one without, and see which gets more responses. Mistake number 4. Quick profile summary. Oh wow, good job on this. Her CV actually has a profile summary. I have reviewed a lot of CVs and surprisingly, many don't include one. A profile summary is way more powerful than most people realize. It is the easiest way to keyword target your CV and tailor your application with minimal effort. Since recruiters spend less than a minute scanning CVs, a clear, compelling elevator pitch at the top instantly grabs their attention. But this wasn't optimal. Let's see what we can improve here. She used the PPF formula, present, past, future, but in my opinion, the TAS formula, traits, area of expertise, skills, is more impactful. It focuses on your skills and what you bring to the table, which is what the employers care about most. For example, if she was applying for this position, this is how I would rewrite her profile summary. This version keeps things sharp, relevant, and employer-focused. It also shows that the person is qualified for the job and is confident with their skills and experience. Mistake number 5. Wrong verb tense. She used a mix of verbing and nouns to talk about her work experience and projects. But there are a couple of things wrong with that. First, inconsistency. It may seem like a small thing, but trust me, it matters. An inconsistent CV may make it look like you are not detail-oriented, and it might be a red flag for employers. So keep it consistent. I would say stick to using verbs. They show action and they make your experience stand out more. Second, wrong verb form. Don't use verbing for past jobs and projects. Instead, use the past tense. And here's a little pro tip. Use strong action verbs such as manage, conduct, or lead over weaker alternatives like be responsible for. It gives your CV way more impact. Mistake number 6. Lack of measurable metrics. Oh wow, again, good job her. She made some effort to quantify her work, but not always. Sometimes she added numbers, sometimes she didn't. She probably knew she needed it, but she just couldn't come up with meaningful metrics every time. Here I came across a great tip from Jeb Su to write good metrics. Whenever you list a task, ask yourself, So what? For example, she did this uni project. So what? Cutting booking time by 40%. In this job, she optimized Google Ads and Facebook Ads campaigns. So what? Leading to a 25% increase in the number of leads and a 10% decrease in the cost per lead. I know it's not always easy to come up with numbers, but here's the thing. Recruiters actually care more about the effort you put into quantifying your work than the actual numbers themselves. So take your time, think it through, and make your achievements visible. Mistake number 7. Unevenly distributed space. The spacing in this CV is really odd. First, she used a 2-column layout. The left side had less important information like contact, skills, languages, hobbies, so it looked empty. The right side had the important parts: profile summary, education, projects, work experience, and it was packed with text, leaving no space at the top or bottom. Second, the spacing between sections wasn't consistent, making everything look uneven and of course unprofessional. So again, keep it simple. Use a single column layout. Ensure consistent spacing. Leave enough white space so it doesn't look like everything is suffocating. In the end, a simple, easy to read CV is always the way to go. Thank you for watching until the end. These are the 7 most common mistakes people make when writing the CVs. If you have been making any of these mistakes, I hope my video helped you fix them. And please let me know in the comments how many of these mistakes have you made. I'm just curious to know. I have linked my CV template in the video description, so check it out. And now, as promised, here are my insider tips for writing an excellent CV. So if something wasn't covered in my video, you'll know how to evaluate and improve your CV on your own. Most of the time, your CV is first reviewed by an HR manager or by an ATS. If an ATS is used, the HR manager will still review the shortlisted CVs before passing them to the hiring managers. But whether your CV is first reviewed by a system or by a person, they both rely on one thing: keywords. They have a list of must-have and nice-to-have skills, so your CV needs to include them. Some people ask me, should I paraphrase the keywords from the job description so they don't sound repetitive? The answer is no. Don't overcomplicate things. Just use the exact keywords from the job description, as many as possible. Of course, don't stuff them unnaturally, but try to include them in meaningful sections like profile summary, work experience, and skills. Repeating the keywords throughout your CV actually reinforces that you have the skills for the job. So don't worry about repetition. It actually helps the ATS and the HR manager to quickly recognize your qualifications. So the higher the keyword match, the better chances of you making it to the next round. So thanks again for watching and see you in the next video.